is welcome, whatever your heritage or your age, your income or your abilities, and whatever your religious beliefs. And also however you choose to participate, whether you're able to be here in person or whether you're watching us from home. As a welcoming congregation, we affirm the full inclusion of people of all sexual orientations and gender expressions. If you're visiting this morning, we're very happy to have you with us, and we invite you to, if you want to get better acquainted with the community, to fill out one of the yellow pew cards located on the backs of the pews, and you can just drop them in the collection plate as it goes by later, and we'll be happy to be in touch with you. We also hope that you'll come downstairs after the service to join us for refreshments and conversation. To do that, we go through this door here and all the way down the stairs and across the hall to our fellowship hall. Before we get started this morning, we do need a volunteer to light our chalice. If anybody is okay, Pat will light our chalice. Thank you, Pat. And this is an opportunity for those of you watching from home to go and grab a candle or a chalice and have it ready to light with us so that we can do our opening ritual in spirit together. A few announcements. One more garden tour coming up next weekend. For visitors, this is a new tradition since the pandemic of finding ways to spend time together outdoors. So there's one more garden tour, and the details and directions will be published in the weekly email that comes out on Fridays. If you're not receiving the weekly email, please contact the church office, and Christine Norris, our administrator, will be happy to add you to the list. The Meeting House Foundation's outdoor Friday night concerts are continuing. Thanks to them, and no thanks to the weather, which was particularly dicey this Friday. It was one minute it was raining and the next minute it wasn't. These happen every Friday evening at 6. Right out front here. Bring your friends, bring a picnic, or you can buy food from the food trucks that we always have here. Okay, why is that happening? For those who haven't seen our weekly email, I did want to share the sad news that Carl Furlong died last Sunday. He had been having repeated falls and was in Oceanside nursing home over in Rockport. Carl had no family besides us, and you all stepped up and treated him as family, and were with him virtually to the end of his life. And we will be planning a fitting memorial for Carl, and we will let you all know when that takes place. And just finally, a word about our worship service this morning. It's different in format. It's inspired by the services created by the Taizé community in France, a Christian community in France. And I will be saying a bit more about that later in the service. But for now, just wanted to say that this comes from a tradition of contemplative services that are structured around readings and meditation and song and silence. Thank you all very much for being here. Begin the song exactly where you are. Remain within the world of which you're made. Call nothing common in the earth or air, accept it all and let it be for good. Start with the very breath you breathe in now, this moment's pulse, this rhythm in your blood, and listen to it, ringing soft and low. Stay with the music. Words will come in time. Slow down your breathing. Keep it deep and slow. Become an open singing bowl whose chime is richness rising out of emptiness and timelessness resounding into time. And when the heart is full of quietness, begin the song exactly where you are. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn this morning is number 188 in your gray hymnal, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Andy will play it through for us once, and then you're welcome to rise in body or in spirit, and we will sing it through 2 times. In the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, we begin our services with the ritual of lighting our flaming chalice. The chalice represents the warm embrace of this community that holds us, and the flame illuminates our time together as we seek wisdom and understanding. As Pat lights our chalice, if you have a candle or a chalice prepared at home, please go ahead and light it with us now. I invite us now to say the words of our affirmation, which are printed in your order of service. Newcomers and guests, please join along with us. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Please be seated. Each week, we light a candle to offer out our hopes for peace throughout the world, here at home, as well as in war-torn parts of the globe. We began this practice when Russia invaded Ukraine, and we continue to hold Ukraine in our thoughts, especially today, following yesterday's deadly missile strike against civilians in the city of Chernihiv. it occurred to me that I didn't really know very much about the origins of the Taizé style of worship, and so I did a little bit of research that I thought I would share with us briefly this morning. It seems that the Taizé community was founded by a man named Roger Schutz, a Swiss man who became known as Brother Roger throughout his long life. He was from Switzerland, as I mentioned, born in 1915, and his young life, childhood and young adulthood, he was plagued with illness, particularly, they think, tuberculosis. And so he grew up spending a great deal of time in solitude, alone. And so he attended seminary, and just as he was finishing his studies, World War II broke out in Europe, and he felt called to find a place where he could form a community. It could be a contemplative community. And so he found his way to the village of Taizé in France, small village that had once been part of the huge Cluny monastery. And he took over some of the buildings that had once belonged to the Cluny monastery and formed this community. And priests began to come and to live there. And they very intentionally created a community that was not only contemplative, but a community of what they liked to call reconciliation, meaning that they were very disturbed by the war and the perpetual conflicts, and they wanted to start sending a message of how much we are all alike, and they called it reconciliation. As part of this, they became a place where they tried to help refugees, and they would take in Jewish refugees trying to escape from France, and even eventually started finding ways to spirit them over the border into Switzerland. And it was at one of those visits when Brother Roger had taken some people to Switzerland that the Gestapo paid a visit and kind of put them on notice that they were being watched. So Brother Roger didn't return from Switzerland, but kind of kept growing the community from there. But after the war, returned to Taizé and continued trying to build this community and to particularly build the form of worship that they became so well known for. But they took away the lessons from World War II, which was to really genuinely make everybody welcome. They wouldn't proselytize, or even people from different religions, they wouldn't even try to encourage them to attend their worship. They just really wanted people to be comfortable and welcome on their own terms. And so that became a really strong motivating force. So throughout the 60s and 70s, the community grew in popularity, and it became known among younger people as a wonderful pilgrimage site, and continues to this day. People make pilgrimages and retreats to Taizé. The style of worship that they designed was intended to be contemplative, so readings, prayers, a lot of silent meditation, and a lot of song. And so what they did was to develop short, easy to sing songs that they would sing over and over and over again until they became chants. And so our service today is inspired by that, but it would take us a while to develop the knowledge of the songs to really be able to do it. But we're going to just give ourselves a little taste of it today. Brother Roger lived to be 90 years old, but sadly, he was murdered during one of their services in Taizé. He was killed by a woman from Romania who apparently was deranged. And it's a terribly sad ending and a shocking ending to a life that was built completely on contemplation and peace and trying to bring people together. So again, it's the irony and the shock of that ending is hard to it's hard to accept. Today, the community thrives. People love to go there for pilgrimages. There are groups. It's not organized around the rest of the world, but there are groups that practice Taizé worship services, including, I looked up, there's some in Boston and Cambridge. And I wanted to close with a quote from Brother Roger's successor, a man named Brother Alois, who wrote, "As we continue the pilgrimage of trust on earth that brings together young people from many countries, we understand more and more deeply this reality. All humanity forms a single family, and God lives within every human being without exception." So, thank you for listening. So it's time to sing again. And we'll sing hymn number 1002 from the Turquoise hymnal. Hopefully copies are nearby. And we will sing all 5 verses of this. Within each of us, there is a silence as vast as the universe. When we experience that silence, we remember who we are, creatures of the stars, created from time and space, created from silence. Silence is our deepest nature, our home, our common ground, our peace. Silence is where the holy dwells. We yearn to be there. The experience of silence is now so rare that we must guard it and treasure it. And this is particularly true of shared silence. I invite us now to join in a guided meditation to be followed by a lengthy silent meditation. I'd say around 5 minutes. Our guided meditation is adapted from one by Melissa Eisler. And so let us pause now and allow the silence of this sacred space to embrace us. Notice your breathing as you inhale and then exhale. And picture a beautiful sunny day. Now imagine that you are sitting outside and the sun is shining strong overhead. Feel the sunshine begin to warm you up bit by bit, starting with your toes, and then the warmth spreading up your legs to your hips, your torso. Feel the warmth on your shoulders and arms, your neck, your face, and finally the crown of your head. Move slowly, noticing the sun's warmth cover one part of your body at a time. And notice how it feels to be covered by the sun's warmth. Now visualize a body of water in front of you. It could be a lake, the ocean, a river, a swimming pool, etc. You stand up and over the body of water. Take a deep breath and then dive in. Notice how the water feels as you enter it, first on your face and then the rest of your body, your skin. Notice the temperature of the water and the sensations that you feel as you dive deeper and deeper and deeper. Pay attention to how it feels to keep diving deeper into the water. And then as you begin to need more breath, you begin to ascend. Notice the light growing above you as you come up toward the surface. And now, stay on the surface just long enough to get another deep breath of air and then dive back in. And repeat this cycle several times in your mind, surfacing, breathing, and diving. Surfacing, breathing, and diving. After a few minutes, start to surface again, and this time, find your way back to dry land. Notice that transition of slowly getting out of the water. Notice the feel of the air touching your skin, the earth or sand underneath your feet. And as you walk, notice any sounds, smells, or tastes. Notice the sun touching you to warm you up. Your face, your shoulders, your arms, your entire body. Notice the sun's heat drying you from head to toe. Perhaps there's a sensation of drying salt prickling your skin. And when you're completely dry, bring your awareness back to your breath and take some slow inhales and exhales through your nose. Take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And gently open your eyes and lean into the calmness in your mind and body as we enter a few minutes of silence. There is a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread. But it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die. And you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Our next hymn is Spirit of Life in the Gray Hymnal, number 123. We'll sing this through twice. We are here today because we love one another and this place. And we are here today because of the love and the faith of the generations of members and friends who believed in this community and in this liberal religious tradition and who have gone before us. We carry on the work that they began, and we will shepherd the story forward for those who follow us. For the life and the health of this congregation and its ministries, this morning's offering will now be gratefully received. Blessings on the givers and on your gifts. As swimmers dare to lie face to the sky and water bears them, as hawks rest upon air and air sustains them, so would I learn to attain free fall and float into Creator Spirit's deep embrace, knowing no effort earns that all-surrounding grace. Our closing hymn this morning is number 402 in your gray hymnal, From You I Receive. We'll sing this through 3 times. Comes from you who created heaven and earth. You strengthen and uphold me. You who are over the nations will see all hearts awaken to the light. For you are the great counselor. You dwell within all hearts, that we might respond to the universal heart. Like the sun that nourishes us by day, like the stars that guide the wayfarer at night, in you we shall not be afraid of the darkness, for you are the light of our life. May you keep us in our going out and in our coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Blessed be, and amen. I invite us now to say together the words to extinguish our chalice. And those at home, please hold up your candle or chalice and say the words together with us. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace and return in love. Amen.